All right. Good morning, you guys. So we're switching things up a little bit today, you guys. I'm super excited. Rochelle and I had a Zoom with Lindsay, and we kind of talked about some ways to make this better for you guys and how to just build on what we've already been doing, change things up, and make it so that this year we all hit our goals even more. Everything we bring fire to our batching into our planning. So first and foremost, you guys, we are going to start by planning the entire month of Zooms. Okay. So I want you to get out your planner, and you should have your personal life in there for the month. A lot of times we have like a base of what we know what's going to be going on in our month. I know things pop in here and there, and that's why everything is always a moving piece. But do not put the Zooms in if you are not able to make it to them. So for example, if you know that you take the nights off because that's when you spend with your family, your husband's home, but you're more the 10 a.m.s, don't write the 8 p.m. ones down, right? If you are somebody that's like, I can't make any of the 10 a.m.s, I only can do the 8 p.m.s, then don't write any of the 10 a.m.s down. Make these non-negotiables, right? Make this like it's like a doctor appointment, or it's an appointment for your kid, or it's their gymnastics class. Because guess what? You take them, right? You make sure that they're there for the basketball or things like that. So this is the same thing for your business. Do not write these Zooms down unless you are going to be there, okay? So I'm going to go over the whole Zoom schedule. And as you guys know, always, if you go into Limitless, in our pinned announcement post at the top, you'll always be able to find our Zoom schedule. So if you ever are in doubt or anything like that, just go to that and find your Zoom schedule. So right now I'm going to list them out, and then we're going to give you guys just a couple of minutes to write them all in. Okay. So they haven't changed. Monday, we have 10 a.m. work with me's. So Monday, 10 a.m. work with me. I'll give you guys a minute to write down all the ones you are.
I want to add to you guys that, because I know we have a lot of Lionhearted and other downlines in here too. If you are in Lionhearted, theirs is pinned at the top as well. And I believe we're following the same schedules now, aren't we? At least for
Yes.
January, I know. So everything that she tells you right now is like across the board.
So 10 a.m. on Monday, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays. And this is the work with me, guys. So 8 p.m. on Tuesday. 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. 8 p.m. on Thursdays. These are Eastern Standard Time, you guys. 10 a.m. on Fridays. 9 a.m. on Saturdays. And 6 p.m. on Sundays. So I'm going to roll through them real quick, you guys. So we have Mondays, 10 a.m., Tuesdays, 8 p.m., Wednesdays, 10 a.m., Thursday, 8 p.m., Friday, 10 a.m., Saturdays, 9 a.m., Sundays, 6 p.m. On Monday.
Where did you find those?
I don't think they're talking to me. Thanks, Rochelle. Okay, so on Mondays, we have our 8 p.m. Zoom training. And that's with Lindsay's team. Okay, I'm back. All right, so on Mondays, we have our 8 p.m. team Zoom. And I'm going to go over this real quick, you guys, because in the month of January, we actually have guest speakers for the whole month. So I'm super excited for that. So we have Tommy and Q this upcoming, I think today or tomorrow. The 9th is to be announced. The one after that is Stephanie G. The one after that is Courtney Glacier. And then the one after that is Janetta. So they are all 200Ks Lindsay has coming in to share their stories and train and everything like that, because she is going very hard with us with the boot camp. So she's really excited to bring in some other stories this month. So I'm really excited for that, you guys. So just a little heads up, you guys got the scoop on who's coming in. So that's on Mondays. And then, as you guys know, we batch and we plan on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. So 10:30 a.m. So I'll give you guys a minute to get the Mondays at 8 p.m. in, and the Sunday Zooms at 10:30, the ones you are going to make.
And like Christina said at the beginning of this, you guys, this is for the entire month. So right now you're putting in every Monday, you're putting in every work with me that you know that you can be on, any Zoom that you know you can be on for the month, because moving forward, so this is the first Sunday of the month. This is how we're going to start the first Sunday of every single month. But moving forward through the rest of the Sundays for the month, we're not going to be taking time to be planning in work with me's and Zooms, because those things never change. So we're doing it right now.
And keep in mind, you guys, if you're doing the boot camp, we have a mandatory work with me's. So make sure that you are getting on the amount of work with me's that are mandatory for the boot camp. And Sunday is mandatory, whether you're on live or watching the replay. But I will tell you guys, being live is exciting, because we're going to start doing some fun things so that you guys, especially if you're are on the live training with us, having you drop things in our team chat so that you can earn product credits and things like that. So there's going to be some fun things that go along with it. So we want to have some exciting things that go on Sundays. So does everybody have their schedules in? Everybody feel good? Or does anybody need an extra minute? Looks like everybody is good with their Zooms. All right. All right. So like Rochelle said, you guys, this is the Limitless, right? So this is for me, it's my leader. 200K is Lindsay. But I know that Lionhearted, like Rochelle said, is seeing this through as well. So if there are any other Zooms that maybe your leader, if you are on a different team or anything like that, have for you, make sure you put those in after. And just so you guys know, if you are not on Limitless and you are in Lionhearted, Lindsay will be dropping last year's boot camp for you guys. So it is not the same boot camp that Limitless will be doing right now, but you will have last year's boot camp, which is awesome. So you guys plug into that. And you can always, if you want to do it with your team, this is again, if you're not in Limitless, so anybody in Lionhearted, if you want to do it with your team, you can always do like a fun little chat with your team, accountability. We've done that before. That's always fun. So it will be dropping into the, into Lionhearted as well.
Hold
So
on, can I add to that real quick? Sorry,
Oh,
I have
sorry.
to, I'm glad I didn't miss that part. So if you are not in my downline and you want to do a boot camp, I am going, like Christina said, I'm going to be dropping 2022's boot camp into the Lionhearted team page. If you're not in my downline, if you're in my downline, our day one is already posted in the Telegram chat. Don't worry about it. It's going on. But if I am not your 200K leader, I know that there were last year, a couple people that had said they were going to be doing boot camps that are no longer doing them. And I don't want anybody to not have access to one. So I'm going to be dropping the 22 into Lionhearted sometime today. Once I get my life in order. I literally just woke up. So once my life is in order and my elite kicks in, I will drop that in there. If you are a 4K, 12K, 40K and above leader that is not in my downline, I would recommend doing a accountability chat with your downline and doing that boot camp together. The problem being is because when new promoters do this on their own, it's sometimes overwhelming and they have questions. Allow them to come to you with your questions and kind of build from your leadership. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit a little bit tonight and later today for y'all in M's chat. So again, if you are not in my downline, that is something for you. If you are in my downline and I am your 200K leader, ignore everything that I just said, because it doesn't apply to you. You are in already and yours is taken care of. This is just if you are not a part of Limitless.
Okay, cool. All right, you guys. So, and then tonight we have at 7 p.m. It is the Lionhearted Zoom which Lynn's just mentioned that she'll be on kind of talking about too. So that is tonight at 7 p.m. If you guys want to drop that into your planner, if it makes your schedule, and you can make it 7 p.m. Okay, so you guys all know our content map. This is where we basically ended 2022, and this is where we're picking right back up and starting in 2023. So I'm excited for this. If you are in Lionhearted, this will be dropped in there too. I think Lindsay may have already done it. If not, it will be in there as well. So you can get the content map as well. And it is a generic sample one. And you guys always feel free to change it up, to do what is best for you, so on and so forth. Rochelle's going to dive into that, but I'm going to start with you guys in your focused IPAs. So Monday through Sunday, we're going to talk focused IPAs, and I want you to set your focused IPA, whether it be on your content map, whether it be in your planner, whether it be on your piece of paper. Y'all, there is no wrong way to plan. I've said that before. There's no wrong way to plan unless you plan and don't use it, right? Fail forward, try things out. Maybe a planner, maybe you're not vibing with your planner, grab some sticky notes, grab a piece of paper, grab the content map, grab your playbook, grab whatever, and utilize that. Right? Just because I use a planner or Rochelle use a planner or Lindsay use a planner, but yours isn't, like, that's okay, right? Find what's going to work for you. So focused IPAs are going to be those IPAs you do after you do your full round of IPAs. So it's after a lot of those one and dones are done. Whoa, that was a lot. These are what you're going to focus on. So that would be your 3-2-1s. That's going to help you get some more story views. That's going to help you get some new like potentials to see your stuff because maybe they aren't. So 3-2-1s. And again, like we've shared before, you guys, the 3-2-1 isn't always has to be 3 likes, has to be 2 comments, has to be 1 story interaction. I'm talking to those that are like me who always thought things had to be exactly like, no. A 3-2-1, you may go to their page and it might be 1-1-1. Right? It might be 2-1-1. You guys don't overthink 3-2-1s, but it's going to intentionally go to that person's page to interact with them. Okay. So 3-2-1s, growing your network and story interactions, cleaning up your network. So unfollowing, right? Those are 3 amazing focused IPAs, growing your network, 3-2-1s, cleaning up, story interactions. So what I want you to do right now is pick your focused IPA. And if you are someone that is just getting into this, I want you can go off the content map, like what we have right here. This is the generic one that gives you 1 per day and just follow that. So it's going to help you get new eyes on your story, clean up your following, add to your network, really get in the DMs with the story interactions. Maybe you're further along in your business and you're like, I need to really clean up right now, or I really need to grow my network and start getting new eyes on. Then maybe you want to focus on growing your network in 3-2-1s or 3-2-1s in unfollowing, right? Figure out where you are in your business too. And you can do a different one every single day, or you can do one for the week. Sometimes I do one just for the week because mentally that's what I need and how I need to focus it. And there are sometimes I do like 3-2-1s, growing my network, 3-2-1s in unfollowing, story interactions, so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself so you guys can get your focused IPAs, and then we're going to go into the next part. So take your time right now and get the focused IPA ready for your entire week so you are intentional with your business. I just want to add real quick, you guys, on focused IPAs. If you were on last week's work with me with Lynn's, there's the recordings too. If you weren't on that, I would highly suggest watching that recording because she really shows you other ways to do 3-2-1s, where to do them, where to do some different interactions and so on. So if you are struggling in that area, and you really want to focus on getting people in your inbox, and you really want to focus on getting those eyes on your stories and on your content and building those new relationships and what you've been doing, you're like, I'm ready for a change. I'm ready to step things up. I really suggest you getting on that work with me, watching the replay so that you can see so many new and different ways to doing that.
Yeah, and for me, like Christina said, focused IPAs are something that you do after you do your full round, whenever you do that. And so if you're new and you're like, well, when exactly do I do the focused IPAs? For me, if I like sit down on the couch to, I don't know, watch TV or watch a movie with my kids, I will take I only do focused IPAs for like 3 to 5 minutes at a time, periodically throughout my day as I find time. So like I said, if I sit down, I might set a timer for 3 or 5 minutes. Maybe my focused IPA is growing my network that day. So I'm going to grow my network for that amount of time. And then put my phone down, do whatever I'm doing, go about my day. And then later on, when I get another little free pocket, again, I'm a timer person. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to do my focused IPA. I'm going to set my phone down. So that's kind of how you can work focused IPAs into your day. It's just those free pockets that you find throughout. So before we go into our posting topic and our story focus on our content map, I was talking to Christina about this morning. So I think that I want to take 2 to 3 minutes to rewrite our fives lists right now. I think that it's important to, as we start the new year, to really be clear on what our fives are. Because as you always hear Lindsay say, your fives are always changing, you guys. I just rewrote mine this morning and mine has changed significantly. If you saw, I posted a couple days ago, I am pregnant with my third right now. And so obviously for me, my fives have changed, right? That's a big part of my 5 going into 2023. So let's take 2 to 3 minutes and just rewrite, get clear on what our 5s are. So you should have 3 5s list. If you're new, you're going to have 1 for the products, 5 things you love about the products, the comp plan or business, and then a personal. So that's going to be your personal branding, what makes you you. So let's take 2 to 3 minutes and just rewrite those, because we're going to get really heavy on our 5s moving forward into our posting topics and our batching. So let's just do that for, like I said, just a minute. All right, while you guys are doing this, I see a question in here. So you don't do many IPAs all throughout the day, you don't have a list. So we have a full list of IPAs, which if you're in Limitless, you get the full list every single morning. If you're in another downline, I'm not sure if you guys get a full list of IPAs sent to your chats every morning, but we do have an entire list, which is a lot of one and dones, right? I am in gratitude, self-development, birthdays, things like that. And then you've got interactions, maybe growing your network, things like that. So we do a full list, and that's what we do, those work with me's that Christina gave you. If you hop onto one of those, you're going to do your full list of IPAs on that. Your focused IPAs are just you're picking one IPA to focus on for the rest of the day after you've gone through that full list, if that makes sense. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on. If you did not finish that, just come back to it later. We're gonna move on to the posting topics section of our content map. So if you have that content map in front of you, you have Monday through Sunday. So this is where you're gonna pull your 5s in, okay? So, and Lindsay, I'm probably gonna pull you on in a second to kind of talk about once we like start to batch, that whole thing that we talked about, but let's go through and pick a 5, okay, for Monday through Sunday. So I'm gonna read to you guys. I'm just gonna go down the list. I have the generic one. So for Monday, the posting topic is Mondays before Thrive. And this is actually the one that I'm following this week. So this is what I'm doing. So Mondays before Thrive. Tuesday is going to be weekly pay. Wednesday, I'm picking a product 5. Thursday, pick a comp plan 5. Friday, I'm going to talk about how the products make me feel. Saturday, what has Thrive done for you? And then Sunday, I'm going to share about my why. Okay, so go through right now, Monday through Sunday, and assign a 5. So pull from that list that we just put out. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions? We're gonna, when we get into when we move on in just a second here, we're going to kind of, and again, I'm gonna let Lindsay kind of explain why, if you're cool with that, Lindsay. But I know ending 2022, we talked a lot about pain points, and we all kind of noticed that it was kind of we recognized that it was kind of difficult for a lot of you to talk about those things because a lot of you felt like, well, I'm currently going through these things. So how is this going to help me, right? How is talking about this going to help me? So we kind of want to get away from the word pain point, and moving forward, we want you guys, when it comes to your content, to pick a 5, right? So let's just say on Tuesday, you're going to talk about energy, and then you're batching, what you're going to talk about on that day is going to be an intentional solution. You're going to find an intentional solution. So what about energy? What does it help you with? For me, it gives me the energy to keep up with my kids and be a present mom, right? So that might be what I talk about on that day. But Lindsay, do you kind of want to cover that really quick? You had a lot of good points when we talked about that.
Sorry, I was getting the last year's boot camp together for everyone who is not in my current one. So hello, hi. What was the question? Intentional versus and the pain points. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, just getting myself together here. Okay, so here's the thing of what I saw when I would tell people pain points. And I don't mean to offend anybody when I say this at all. So please, if I'm not your leader naturally and you are not used to me, I am very red and I just kind of say it how it is. And I never mean to offend you, but I walk into a room and offend 3 people at any time. So I am who I am, but just know that I love you. Okay. When I was telling people pain points, a lot of times people turned pain points and utilized that as a way to just overshare struggles. And here's the thing about struggles is you will turn your mess into a message, but not if your mindset is in the struggle too deep. And not anybody in my downline or anybody that I know, but I came across a post and it basically turned her Thrive business into a GoFundMe. And I was like, oh, no. We are not telling people I need you to buy Thrive from me so I can do this, or I need you to buy Thrive from me because life sucks, right? That isn't how you build a business. And that's not going to get anybody to want Thrive, because if you're saying that you have no energy, if you're saying that you have, if you're just riddled with anxiety, right? Which, hi, I have anxiety also, if you don't, God bless you, but who doesn't, right? I feel after 2020, it just everyone got it. So it's fine. But my thing is, if you are not using your past to build off of, or your current situation right now, your struggle to build off of, but instead you're planting your roots into your struggle and you're just using that as your pain point, that's not what pain points are for. We're not here to pull people in with our stories of of our struggles and try and get people to fund them, right? That's not what it's about. It's about building a business and building connections with people. So they see like somebody like me who is a millionaire in this company, but they see how I started, right? Drowning in debt, day one in a 1-bedroom apartment, barely could afford with my Great Dane Xander, right? Life is very different now, but I still share that because there are a lot of people my age that are still in that situation and that need hope, and that they need to know that there's a different way and you can add options. So I want to switch how we batch. And like we said, the first Zoom of every month is going to be a little bit more in detail because we're going to be planning for the month and that week. But for example, I really want you guys to use your 5s list, okay? And it wouldn't be something if I didn't talk about my 5s. Hey, hi, hello. But I really want us to pull deep from those. And I feel like the last 6 months, we've been so worried about telling a story that we haven't been thrivers. So I want to ask you guys something and genuinely feel this question, okay? When was the last time you helped somebody with a transformation with our products? When was the last time you walked somebody through, whether it be day one of them feeling energy or transformation within like weight loss or within their mindset or whatever it is using our products, right? And I asked that question to a couple of my leaders and they honestly were like, oh, wow, because they were so focused on sharing their pain points and so focused on building this storyline and being like an influencer on social media that you guys have stopped doing what you're here to do. We aren't here to create podcasts. We aren't here to have aesthetic feeds and everything look picture perfect, because here's the thing. If your feed looks like you're drowning, then people think the only way that you can thrive is if you're drowning. If your feed, and vice versa, if your feed is picture perfect and it looks like out of a magazine and you look like you're an influencer and all you make are fancy graphics and your preset is perfect, well, people are going to be afraid to join you because they feel that's what they have to do. Be human and be you. And for me, the biggest way to do that is by pulling from my 5s because it keeps me grounded. So how I want you guys to look at this is to get intentional with your 5s. And I talked about this on, I think it was last Monday's training. So if you missed it, go back and rewatch that. But I talked about being intentional and how if you need energy, great, but why? What part of energy do you need? Do you need it because you're a tired mom? Do you need it because of it's Monday and you're going to work? Like, do you need it because you just need it? Like, why do you need it for that day? And how is it different before Thrive? Like, how were you dragging ass before Thrive, right? Like, what were you doing? So that's the intentional side that I want you to pull from more than I don't want you to turn social media into your soapbox or your diary. Because, and I used to train on this. And if you've been a part of this team for any amount of time past like two years or so, I used to train a lot on pretty social media, right? And I used to say, do you have pretty social media? That doesn't mean your pictures. That doesn't mean do you look pretty? Everybody here is pretty. Everybody here is gorgeous. Everybody here is exactly who they're supposed to be and loved for who they are. That's not what pretty social media is. Pretty social media does it mean that you are sharing who you are without turning it into a negative space or a diary? People want to look at, what is this? Apparently my skin is freaking out now too. I just noticed it in that. I was like, what is on me? But anyway, sorry, squirrel brain. See, you could be good at this and have zero mental focus. Hi. But people don't want to go to your page and feel like they're always being brought down or you're always complaining. They want to go somewhere where they feel like they can be uplifted and they feel positivity and they want to look for your content. So that is kind of we're not switching how we're doing anything. I just want to reword how we're doing it, because a lot of times I was having newbies come to me saying that they were sharing their pain points. And I go and I look and I'm like, oh Lord, yeah, you were sharing. Yeah, we were like, okay. So I want to make sure that we are having that fine line of this is a diary versus this is social media. People only need to know so much. So I hope that helps a little bit.
Thank you. You explained it better than I could have. That's why I know you didn't expect that, but I'm like, Lindsay, you take this part. So yeah, yeah. So what I'm doing, you guys, is like right now. So when I put out like my post for Wednesday is going to be a product 5, Beside that, I put the 5 that I'm pulling from. Okay, so that day it's going to be energy. So when we go into the batching portion of this and I get to Wednesday, I already know exactly what I'm talking about, and I just got to write up my post. Does that make sense? If there's any questions, you guys drop it. Christina, I'm going to pass it back to you to go into the stories. And I know Christina has some really great tips for organizing your story, like content within your phone. So go ahead, Christina.
Awesome. Okay. So you guys, like Rochelle said, if you have questions at any time throughout any of these Zooms, drop them. That is the beauty of being on live with us too, is that we can answer any questions that you have. So if you're struggling, don't just struggle behind the camera and just like sit there. You are live for a reason. You're showing up and we're here too. We want to help you. So if there's something that you don't understand or you're struggling with something, drop it in the chat so we can help you. So story focus, you guys, these are great things to actually get in like line for the week, especially if you're busy, you work a 9 to 5 and things like that. And I will share with you, I have an iPhone, so I don't know how it is on an Android, but I'm sure there's some way, shape, or form you can make this work on an Android too, is having folders. So I have folders in my iPhone that are for the week, or if you want to even drop stuff for the month, however you want to do it. And I have a folder that's for the week. And what I do with that is I will go and grab my before and afters that I want to share that week, and I put them in there. I will go and grab graphics. I use Canva a lot. So if you're somebody that uses Canva, you can easily switch things up or unfold if you're somebody that uses unfold. By just changing the graphic, maybe changing a few words, and you've got something completely new than maybe you had last month or the month before. If you're somebody that uses Instagram to create your content, you guys, you can do the free Canva. You don't need the pro Canva, free Canva, anything like that. Maybe you use Instagram and you create things, drop them into your folder so you know what you're going to be focusing on. So things to focus on in your stories are samples. When's the last time you talked about samples? And I mean, really talked about it. And there are multiple ways to talk about it. So if you are like, well, I feel like I'm just on repeat, there are like tons of different ways to talk about samples. You can go face to face and share a story about maybe your energy and, oh my gosh, you guys today, and share what happened maybe today and why that energy was important, and say, you guys, if you're struggling with your energy, let me get you a trial pack. That's one way. Sharing a before and after, maybe your before and after. It does not have to be weight loss, you guys. Before and afters are glow ups in their own way, right? So maybe it's sharing a before and after, sharing others before and afters. You guys, there is power in showing other people that you know, right? We all share our stuff. So if somebody comes to you and says, oh my gosh, what did that girl do? You can say, oh my gosh, that's Christina. She did this. She lost this. She has MS. You guys know each other's stories. So we're not just showing like spamming before and afters. We know each other, right? So we're friends. You're sharing your friends before and afters. So say that. These are my friends before and afters, right? So sharing before and afters of other people, going on and actually talking about what the 3 steps are, sharing your full 3-step in the morning and saying, hey, do you want to grab a trial pack? You can put your link. You can do a poll. I personally like to put a link up there so they request it, because that's how I do my samples. But maybe you don't have that, and maybe you want them just to do a poll or swipe up or however you want to do it. So do you see all the different ways you can focus on samples? And every week can look different before and afters, your different before and afters, you sharing a different story. I think we shy away sometimes from sharing samples, and I can say that myself too, because I'm like, well, I don't want to be on repeat. There, you really aren't on repeat, because there's so many different ways of doing it. So with my folder, what I do is I will have the folder for the week, and I grab my content. So like today, when I'm after this Zoom, I will go and grab different stories that I want to make sure I share for the week, and I put them in my folder. And the beauty of the iPhone folder is you can move things around. So when I drop everything in there, so I save all that I want to do and I drop it in there, I will then go and arrange everything so it's in order of how my week flows according to my content map. So if I know on, let's say Monday, I'm sharing my personal before and after, I will have my own before and after. I have some cute canvas, and then I put that. Maybe Thursday, I'm sharing before and afters of our team. I will put that later in my folder. Does that kind of make sense, you guys, how you can use the folders? I put my photos in there. So I will go into, I use Tezza, which is free, you guys. I love the filters that Tezza offers. So I use Tezza right now. I have Lightroom. Lindsay explained, you guys, you can easily go into Lightroom and just adjust a couple things if you want, or buy a filter, a preset if you want. And I will go and get a bunch of different photos that I want to use for the week. So I will scroll through my selfies folder on my phone. I will search. Do you guys know that you can actually search, like you can search dog? You can search like different things in your photos and find it. So maybe you went on a vacation and you're like, oh my gosh, I should actually post some vacation photos from like whatever, because those were good and I never shared it. Type in Florida, it'll come up. You guys, there's so many things you can do in your folders app. So if you do that, then I put my filters on it and I drop it all in that folder. So guess what? During the week, when I need a picture, I've got it. It's already filtered and ready to go. When I'm looking for my stories, I already have them ready to go. So I want to talk about some other story things that you can do. So talk about weekly pay. When's the last time you went in and talked about our comp plan or shared about what the weekly pay is doing for you? Maybe you haven't earned a paycheck yet. That's okay. What is it going to do for you? Right? Don't be afraid to share those things, or have like maybe a story graphic that shares what we get here. You can earn weekly pay. It's uncapped income. We have VIP cash bonuses. You can earn an auto bonus, things like that. When's the last time you shared with your network what we have? So talking about that weekly pay in your stories, focusing on samples. What are the products doing for you? A lot of those posting topics that you just put are great story topics, you guys. Other Thrivers results. Make sure you're sharing others before and afters, because maybe you didn't come here for the weight loss, and maybe weight loss isn't for you, and that's not your before and after. Share others' weight loss, right? Share other weight loss. Right now, you guys, on the rise is growing hair and collagen and things like that. Maybe you haven't had that, but other people have. So share that with babes. Be like, you guys, I'm blown away by the mermaid hair my team is growing right now. Like, I just needed to share this because if anybody's on a mermaid journey, I've got you hooked. I can hook you up with the best collagen on the market. And share other people's before and afters of that kind of stuff. If we don't have a promo, we normally have promos, you guys. I feel like our company is so giving, so they're always having a promo, but maybe you want to offer your own promo. When are you going to offer that in your stories? I like to personally offer it a lot of times on the weekend, but maybe you want to do it on a random Wednesday. Decide that right now. When do you want to run a promo with your credits? Or maybe you have a couple plus line items, even like a stick of thirst and a stick of collagen. You can do that as well. And then talk about how life was different, right? So if you're following the content map, there's story ideas right there for you, but talk about the samples. And you guys, I honestly recommend talking about samples and this is something we talked about when we did our Zoom with Linz, at least 3 times a week, because there's multiple ways to share it. Sharing what the products are, your own testimony, other people's testimonies, and how to create a link. If you are in Instagram and you go to the stickers portion, it says link right there. So if you go in sticker portion, if not, you can just search link and it'll pop up, and then you put your own link in there. So you grab your sample link and you put it right in there, and you can then put a name over it. So I personally offer free samples. You don't have to, you can charge for them. So I will click to grab your free trial pack, or you could click to request a trial pack. Because maybe you talked about that they're $15 or $20 or whatever. You could say click for your glow up, right? There's different ways you can make them cute and fun, and however, put your own personality to it. So we're going to go ahead and mute for a couple minutes, and I want you guys to plan out your stories. And you guys, if you want to share in the chat some story ideas that you have, share that. If you want to share in the chat some posting topics that you're excited for, share that in the chat, because that also gives other people ideas too. And so this way you can share with one another. That's why we're here, and that's what we're here for. And then you guys, I just want to touch on this while you are planning your stories. It is the first of the month, and we would normally go through goals with you guys, right? We would plan out your goals, your trial pack goals, your PPA goals, your volume goals, and things like that. This month, we're doing things a little bit differently. You can all do that. If that works for you and you love doing that, I want you to set your goals. You should always have goals for your month, but this is something that we kind of collectively talked about. And I want you guys to really focus on those IPA goals. Focus on those habit goals, right? Because if you're focusing on posting at least 3 times a week in your stories about samples and getting really back to being a thriver on your page and sharing those 5s, your posts and things like that, you're going to ultimately give out trial packs, right? If you're sharing about it. So instead of just saying, I want to get out 10 trial packs, let's focus on the steps that are going to get us to the trial packs. If you want to help 3 babes start their business, let's focus on what's going to help them start their business. And that is getting bold on your page with the topics that Rochelle talked about, the reels that you're going to do, the stories you're going to talk about it. Do you see how instead of just setting those big goals, we're going to start focusing on the actions and having those be what we focus on? Because let's be real, you guys, we can't control how many people join us, ask for trial packs, our PPAs, our volume, anything like that. But we can control the actions that we take every single month. And I promise you, if you take those actions and you create those habits, you are going to have the PPA, you're going to have the samples, you're going to have the people starting their business and so on. And this is also a way for you to continuously win, because you control how you show up. So if you say, I'm going to post 3 times this week about trial packs, and you do that, you mark that off. How does that feel? That feels good. You're creating that dopamine in your brain. You want to come back and continue to do it, versus saying, I want to get out 5 trial packs this week, and you only get out 1. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't do this. I'm that, whatever it is. I don't want to say it out loud because your brain doesn't know. Do you get what I'm saying? So let's focus on those steps. Yes, have those goals, you guys, like maybe for the month, your goal is 10 or whatever. I mean, put it out there. Sam has a great testimony on that, when she didn't plan for that versus when she did and saw her sights high on that. But really focus on those habits. Make your goals the habits and the action steps to getting to those goals and the things that you want. Okay, I'm done, Rochelle. Take it away.
That was good. That was really good. Okay, we've got 15 minutes left. So let's go into the most important piece of this, which is the batching. Okay, so I'll set a timer for like 3 minutes. We'll try to get 5 batch posts done. So let's go ahead and start on Monday. Remember, so you guys should have your 5s, right? And then your, like, the problem that you're solving, or what that 5 has done for you or is doing for you. So Mondays before Thrive for me is what I'm going to go ahead and talk about. Drop it in the chat, give some people, other ideas. I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to mute myself. And like I said, this is the most important piece. Trust me, you guys, this is a portion that I have allowed myself to slip on in the last few months, and it has showed in my business, okay, and in my productivity. So let's go ahead and actually get those fingers moving and batching. And guys, if you're new, because I know we do have new people, for me, I go into, and I think this is how a lot of us do it, go into the notes section on my phone, and I have a folder for January, and then I have like the week. So I have a folder within a folder for that week, and all of my batch posts go right into that folder. So it's easy for me to go in and edit them, pull them, put them up, and just move on about my day. All right, there's the timer for the first one. So now we're going to move on to Tuesday, which again for me is weekly pay. So I'm going to pull from my comp plan fives and talk about what weekly pay has done for my family.
I like to also, you guys put on the top of mine, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or however, just so if I'm out and about and I'm not near my planner or my content map, I already have it on there. And like Rochelle said, when you're using the notes section in your phone, especially on the iPhone with the current update, it will actually show you what you've like planned this week and then what you did the previous week and then what you did previous 30 days. So if you are using like maybe just one, maybe weekly, maybe you have a note that you're going to use for the week, or I have a folder, which is where all my posts go, because I post and then I, post and then I share, post and share. It's all right here for you too. So this way it keeps everything really organized for you for the week.
All right, moving on to our third one, Wednesday, which again, if you're following the generic one, is picking a product five.
And some of you guys will use this content map or the stories and things like that, the focused IPAs for maybe the entire month, or what you're building on right now, you'll use throughout the month. Keep in mind, every single week, let's say these topics, you decide to keep them the same for the month, you can pull a different 5. You can pull a different story of Mondays before Thrive and so on. So even though, like, even right now, like we're all doing probably similar topics, we all have extremely different stories, and you have multiple stories, multiple reasons why you love the products. That's why you have 5 of them. So if you think about it, every, if you're picking your product 5 or whatever it may be, you have 5 different ones. So you have enough to get you through the month to tell different stories. So next week, when we get on and plan, it is okay to have this be your base and what you build on every single week throughout the month of January.
Yeah, I personally keep the same content map all month long, and then I switch it up at the end of each month. And yeah, like she said, each week I keep like obviously my topics stay the same, but I pull a different like solution, right? So, okay, we're gonna try to squeeze 2 more in. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to Thursday. Picking a comp plan 5 is what mine is. Okay, I know it's 10:30, well, 11:30 for you East Coasters, but we're gonna go ahead and set one more 3-minute timer just so we can get Monday through Friday done, okay? So one more.
Okay, while we're wrapping that up, you guys, I just want to add a couple things. So we are going to be changing, like we said, the way things are kind of done. So just keep in mind that next week we won't be going over the full Zoom schedule. The background work, you guys, that's in your playbook, the things that we were always talking about, make sure that you schedule that in. That's not something we're going to go over every single week and have you scheduling in, because those are parts of your IPAs and things you should be doing within your business. So make sure that you have that list. We've done it. It's on your playbook, things like that, and make sure that you add those into your business and getting things done. So just some like last minute housekeeping things so that we can then go into the next week. And you guys remember, your goals matter. You are worthy. Do those I ams. I spoke on that on last Monday, that the I ams, the gratitude, things like that, don't let those fall to the wayside, because they are very powerful. Show up for your business the way you want to show up for your business. You have this is a whole new year, you guys. This is no longer like, oh, we're in the beginning of a month. Like we are in a whole new year, a whole new chapter, a whole new book, a whole new, whatever you want to call it. You get to write the story. So if you don't like the way 2022 looked, you get to rewrite a whole new 2023. How freaking freeing is that? Thinking you get to rewrite everything. I got chills in my hair. So you get to show up, you get to be you get to do the things that you want to do. Rochelle and I are always here, Lindsay as well. So you guys remember to always ask questions. If you have any, drop them now so that we can answer any questions that you might have. And y'all remember, do not look at other people, right? Do not look at other people's stories or maybe their content, because we're all following similar things and think, oh gosh, their post is so much better than mine or whatever. Your story matters. Your story matters. Your story is what somebody needs to hear, right? So remember how much value you bring and how much power you have, because your story, you didn't walk through it. You didn't go through what you went through for nothing. You went through it so somebody else could know that there's hope for them too. So make sure that you guys remember how powerful your story is, your content is, and showing up. And remember, if you want to create goals for the month, do that. If you want to have that like 10 trial packs or how much your PPA or your volume, you can circle back to one of our past ones that has been a beginning of the month. Rochelle and I have gone over how to go into your back office, find out your where your numbers were at and things like that. There is power in having those things as well, but there is a lot of power when you focus on the habits, the consistency, the showing up, and the discipline. And I promise you those other things will happen. So I just wanted to add that in before we sign off. Rochelle, I don't know if you have anything left to.
Heck no, I can't follow that up. Are you kidding me? No, we're going to leave it right there. All right, I'm going to close this. All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. I hope you have a good week and a productive week. Happy New Year, and we will see you next Sunday. Bye, guys.